Hello. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, I would appreciate that you told me that you can hear me because I'm trying to do this from my MacBook and it is a different experience. So if you can hear what I'm saying, please let me know that you can hear me right now. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, can someone give me a heads up, like that you can hear me? Because I'm not aware if the mic is working. Hello? Okay, cool. Oh, great. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, welcome in, guys. Sorry, had a little bit of a technical issue there. My mic decided to mute itself, so I had to restart the stream. Um, but another, week here with the markets, and we've been tracking some activity. I have some updates for you guys. So let's start with the updates from the macro perspective. Top bets from Friday, we had some interesting flow in within Zscaler. You might want to take a look at that one. It is seeing some interesting options activity, which I will pull up right now. And mainly, we are seeing that the 185 strikes for both 10th of May and 17th of May is pretty much being lit up, right? At the same time, there's some put selling, you can see on the bid side, some other call selling, but that's short-term expiry. And you can see that across the board, there's quite a bit of action on this one. So I wouldn't play into the action without validity of either a breakout or some kind of a structured move. But just looks like right now there's a lot of action on the 185s. There's some action on the 220s. And so there is potential upside options backing here. And the stock is looking like it's ranging into a upper wedge pattern. So obviously wait for confirmation here, and then you can take that trade. So that's number one. I'll do the technicals on that a little later. And then another one, prime services, right? I keep talking about these prime book reports. They're so important sometimes, right? So if you can see here, hedge funds net bought for the past 3 weeks straight, driven by long buys and lesser extent short covers, though the pace of buying slowed notably versus last week. So now you guys know my consensus about hedge funds, and I pretty much fade every single move that they make because they're a very interesting part of the market that is very wrong most of the time and very right the least of the time. And so my consensus with this is I always try to look at the opposite part of what they're doing, right? You can see the 7 out of 11 sectors that were net bought, and then the rest, you can read that on your own. Following 4 weeks of net selling, consumer discretionary was the most net bought sector this week. So you get a sense of where market positioning is as well. You can see that over a 20-day net flow and a 5-day net flow, here are your standard deviations of flow, right? This is important to note as well. Consumer services has been seeing a lot of outflow, and staples, quite a few as well, and utilities a nominal amount, okay? And then obviously there's this other report about the S&P 500 trade idea for consumer discretionary, that's for premium members. And then we have also the financial conditions, which are kind of pegging here. They're staying kind of buoyant. The market's a bit undecided about that. Oh, I don't know if my stream just crashed or something. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna go on, hoping that this it said that my software has crashed. I don't know what the heck just happened. Uh, so we have also sector positioning here in terms of like RSI way, and That's some part of the market. Now let's look at the technicals real quick. So if you look at SPX here, you can see two real simple moves, right? Either you break above 5140, which we have already, and then peak out around 5175 and come back down for a retest of 5147. This would be entry for me personally, right? For a bullish wave. Then to play the wave higher. But if it doesn't get there, then we need to assume that this is going to be a fake out in that case. And if the fake out happens, then you need to wait for the S&P 500 to show a sign of fake out and then short that down into the 5085 region, which is here, right? That will spark off the next move, which will then move further down below 5071 all the way up here. This is the retest for the further short trade here. So there's two ways that this can work out. Be prepared for both of them. That's my best way to do it. NASDAQ is not out of the woods. It is still within a dual zone. So remember that, right? This dual zone, it kind of creeps up a little bit. So it is still within the dual zone. And this is an important area for draw on liquidity. XLU, remember we spoke about this when it was just breaking out. And then I said it would pull back and then it rallied strongly after that. Congratulations if you took any positions in here. Personally, I took profits on NEE a while back. But as I was telling you guys at that moment, NEE is the one that has the biggest holding in XLU, right? And so you can see clearly what happened to that one as we were talking about it. It pays to attend the live stream and it pays to listen. So you can see here, come on. NEE, right? From where we started trading it was here, right? And then bought a little bit more on the dip and it rallied really nicely up into the $70 level. I had some $69 calls. I had some $70 calls. They both paid out. So that was a nice little trade. One for the books. Okay, now, very simple plan with SPX. I already told you guys about that. Let's see. Loud and clear. Okay, yes, you're good. Amazon can hear. Okay. So I'm going to guess that you want me to go through Amazon. So we're going to do it. Amazon. My intrinsic value for Amazon is about here. 215 to 220. So this stock is still undervalued based on its cash flows currently. It's been in this lockstep move for a while now. I mean, I feel like it has been flirting with this price action for a really long time. It broke out to all-time highs and then came right back down and then sold off. Very big liquidity engineering move here for earnings. Came back up here. And I think now only if it breaks above, 189.50, around that level, then you'll be seeing, higher levels here. But I don't personally like this structure very much. This kind of a structure for a continued breakout is just spends pain. And I personally don't see the value in trading this because of the amount of time it takes to only move between like 170 to 180. It takes so much time, or 190 even. Like a $20 move, swing trade takes quite a bit of time. So I personally don't like the setup that much on this to trade it, I'll be honest. Does anyone have any questions? So as for breakout, fake out, as I was explaining, just remember to validate, right? Validate your fake out if it is one, validate the breakout if it is one. If it bounces on 51540, it has to hold at 5140 for at least, a 1 hour candle or so, right? Then okay, right? You can potentially take some upside positioning. But if it doesn't bounce here, doesn't consolidate here, then no go, right? That's probably going to mean a fake out move to the downside. And if it does that, then wait for the confirmation on that, which means you have to wait for a break below 5129 roughly. And that will set off the blows to the downside. So that's how I would play this. From my perspective, I think more possible for downside pressure than upside pressure. But that might take till Wednesday or so. You have a lot of earnings coming out this week as well, guys. Just remember that. A lot of earnings. Okie dokie. Well, I'm gonna guess that that's all you guys have, and I did Amazon. If anyone has any other chart breakdowns, go ahead, ask me right now, and I can do that for you. If not, I'm gonna end the stream here, and hope you guys have a good trading session. Also, if you can, make sure you leave a like behind. That would be truly appreciated. Tesla, okay. My honest stance with this one is the smoke is not clear yet on this. I don't think the bullish headline that was recent that caused the 10% pop was enough for Tesla to sustain another wave. Like it's almost like the market had a one-trick pony. Now the most important thing is that Tesla comes down for some liquidity. I still haven't seen enough liquidity pumped into this, so to speak. This gap up here was obviously nice, but it needs to come down for additional liquidity before I would take some bullish positioning on it. Right now, as long as it doesn't break above 185, 186, and continues to stay below the 185, 186 level, then I would continue be interested to short this more than anything, because the prices here are favoring the bearish structure. So it might not be out of the woods in a sense that, oh, it's gonna run to $200 right away. But then again, Tesla can do what Tesla wants. It doesn't listen to market conditions. So could really go whichever way that it wants to. My bias would be downside here to short a rejection of 182 or 181. If you want to be even more risk averse, you can do the rejection of 179. And if it breaks below 179, you can add a subliminal position, like a small one, and then another bigger one at the break of 176. That's how I would play this right now on the 4 hour. And obviously, if you go into the 1 hour, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So a little bit of a 15-minute pennant being formed here. So this is a very simple case. Like whenever you come across these kinds of patterns, they're the easiest to figure out if, where's your positioning. How should you structure this trade? So let me show you guys right here, right? If you just very simply set your defining levels, okay, like this. Now, from here, you can get your upside downside pivot. Like that. Honestly, these should be here. So now you know that if you get a break above 185, that's the only way you should be bullish on Tesla 185.50. And if you get a break below 176, that's when you should start looking for a bearish opportunity, which means that you need to see this happen, right? Or you need to see this happen. Something like that. My drawing is atrocious, I'm aware. So I like this kind of a trade setup. Nice to play. Simple, easy risk to reward ratio. Thoughts on PayPal after earnings? I don't know actually. I haven't even been following it through earnings. I didn't even see what happened to the stock. Let me have a look. Let's see. So what happened during earnings that I'm supposed to know about here? Doesn't seem like anything interesting so far. The setup is nice though. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity engineering. This the amount of times this does a fake out is ridiculous. I would just avoid trading that just for that until the trend is found here. Personally, NVDA. Remember we were talking about Moderna? Look at this. Nice little setup that blasted off post earnings. If it can come back and start forming like lows here, this could be a nice one to the upside. Z-scaler too, remember that there's options behind this. I'm trying to get into NVIDIA. Oh yeah, this one is forming a nasty bull flag situation. Oh my god, this makes me want to puke, honestly. Like the huge liquidity engineering moves, like up here, and then massively down here. Oh, I hate trading at price action like this. This is a key pivot though, so I mean, from here to 910 there is some upside if you want to keep your risk tight. $5, $10 move, almost, and the downside is all the way down here. So maybe wait for the upside before taking the downside. I don't know. This could be one of those where you want to wait for it to move further higher before you take a downside play. PSTG. Let's see. Not bad. I mean, looks decent, but still, you're stuck in range here. This is stuck in range. I personally don't like this kind of a setup yet, until and unless it's broken either one of the pivots on upside downside. Looks like a lot of upside pressure though. Sorry, downside pressure. If anything, this looks more to me like liquidity running away each time it gets. I really don't like this kind of a setup. It's so difficult to trade this. You have so many data points in between, so much volume that's been traded at every single point. You need price action to move below 48.73, or you need price action to move above $55 net. Then only you can play this. The downside is only after here, and the upside is only after here. In between, everything else is chop. Probably waiting for earnings to move. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But that's all I have for you guys today. Hope to see you guys back on Wednesday. Have a good one. Take, this moves cautiously. I'll give you guys more updates about macro. I have entire consensus that I'm putting together for Jerome Powell, which I'll share with you guys. And yeah, you can see how things change in the market very quickly, guys. Just December, I was telling you guys the market's pricing in 8 rate cuts. And right now, the market doesn't even know if they can price in 1. So you can see how real the market is in these times. And it's very quick to change. So try to keep it on tight, your head, and take it one day at a time. I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.